Today we're going to show you how to change a belt on a Maytag MLG31 dryer. Looks like this, the control panel like that. There are other Maytag dryers that have a similar feature with their belt, so this might apply to some other ones, or at least give you an idea of how to change a belt on some of these. First thing you have to do, take the lint drawer out, all the way out. Next thing you want to do is take out all of the screws except the top two. So hold that one in, but all the other ones can come out. Leave the top two in. When you pull the top two screws off, you want to hold onto this panel because it's very heavy with the door, and it'll fall and it'll tear out the wires to your door sensor. So make sure you hold onto this. Once you take out the top screws, you want to make sure that you hold the front panel and let it down to the floor or wherever you're going to hold it very, very slowly. Whether you can put it on the floor if it's a lower panel, but if it's an upper panel, you want to hold on to it because you've got this plug right here for your door sensor, and you want to make sure that this doesn't get ripped out because there's not a lot of slack here. So once you've got it pulled out, the panel that is, you want to separate this plug and then take the whole front panel off so you've got the whole front of the dryer exposed. So after you get the front panel off, you take a look, and here is part of the belt wrapped around your spindle right here, and you got to get that all that belt off. It's usually twisted and everything else like that, so you got to get all of that off first before you can put on the new belt, of course. Then if you notice, you've got another part of the belt here. That's supposed to come down and will eventually go wrapped around this. This looks like it's not the whole belt, looks like just one of the ribs. You could, in an emergency, maybe, if we went through this whole belt and it was no worse than this, maybe get a few more turns out of it, but I really wouldn't recommend that once it's all chopped up like this. That would only be an emergency situation if you have to wait a day or something like that to get a belt. So we're going to take that belt off. So the way you get that belt off is, I've moved from this side over to where the lint drawer is. Here's the belt right here, and it's wrapped around the basket, and you want to just move it up past the front edge of the basket and take it out. And you just got to be patient and work your way around the basket. Spin a little bit, move the belt up a little bit, spin the basket a little bit more, move it up a little bit. You'll get the idea. I like to pull on the belt forward and then turn the basket clockwise or counterclockwise, doesn't matter. And it'll drag that belt even more, a little bit more forward. So you kind of grab it here where it's going towards the back, you just pull it forward and you just keep spinning the basket until you can get it basically all the way off. It's just coming off like this. And of course you're gonna get some dust and lint. That's what a vacuum cleaner is for. You want to really make sure you clean this out. And once you've got it all pulled out, and there's your belt. All right, let's take the belt, and once you got the belt, you thread it around the outside of the basket. So once you have the belt on there, once you get it down to a certain point, I like to use an old saw blade and just push it further down. You can also use like a paint stick or some other flat piece to kind of push it back on the basket. So you have to push the belt through, and there's a hole that comes up from the down below, as you can see down here. So that's where you put your fingers up through and you grab the belt. All right, so once you've got it pulled, the belt pulled to the center of the basket where you get this cut through in the middle and this fringe, that's when the belt comes through, okay? You pull that down, pull all the slack down. If you notice that you've got two pulleys here, this one and the main drive for the motor right there. Pull down the slack, make a loop here, and you want to put it on this side of the top pulley. Give it a pull to pull down the extra slack. What you'll see then is that this arm is on the spring and adds tension to it. Okay, so you can adjust that, but you can do that later on. But you want to take this and now put it around that. Get it around the bottom, then you can put this around the top. And once you get that on the top spindle, now you should be able to spin this. You notice how the belt started to slip off. It's because it's not quite centered on the basket. So we're going to keep spinning this to see if we can seat it. You heard that snap? And now that should be seated. Now that I'm putting the front panel back on, I'm going to reconnect this plug and then very carefully put it back up and put the top 2 screws back in. Press and hold that. Rotation sensor, because it was obviously a belt. Press and hold that. Just going to select one. And lo and behold, it's spinning. And it's back in order. There we go. That's how you change a belt.